Good evening. I'd like to welcome everyone to the June 2025 Lebanon Historic Preservation Commission meeting. Jennifer, will you take the roll, please?
George Piper.
Here.
Scott Allen.
Here.
Tim Schrock.
Here.
Nicole Wethington and Andrew Anderson are absent tonight.
All right. We do have a quorum to conduct business tonight. Next on the item on the agenda is approval of minutes. Are there any corrections, additions, deletions to the minutes? If not, I will take a motion to approve them.
Motion to approve.
I have a second.
I will second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Minutes approved. Let's see. We have no old business, I don't believe, do we, Derek, tonight? Okay. So we will go on to new business. A couple of items here. A certificate of appropriateness. One of them is for 124 South Lebanon Street, a mural, and then the other is 124 to 126 North Lebanon Street, a facade renovation. So we will take first the one at 124 South Lebanon Street. Derek, we'll take the report from you, then we'll hear from the applicant.
Thank you, George. The first item that we will present is the mural, as mentioned, at 124 North Lebanon. I'm sorry, that's actually supposed to be 124 South Lebanon Street. There's a lot of confusion with north and south on these two buildings. Sorry about that. The property is zoned central business. This property has been before the HPC on December 10th, 2024 for a facade renovation project. The building classification is contributing, which is a building less than 50 years old and which is compatible with its historic surroundings, or a building which is over 40 years old and whose historic character remains but does not rise to the level of notable or outstanding. This building is included in the National Register of Historic Places, Lebanon Courthouse Square Historic District. It is listed in the National Register District as a contributing structure. As mentioned, the certificate of appropriateness tonight is for a mural. A mural is being proposed for the north-facing wall of 124 South Lebanon Street. The design will celebrate Lebanon's past and present and will be painted by artist Pamela Bliss. Funding for the project was secured through a grant from 180 in Collar, administered by the Boone County Economic Development Corporation. Mural design began in March of 2025 and has been guided by a small committee that includes representatives from the Boone EDC, the property owners, the Heart of Lebanon, and HPC staff. As you see in the staff report, HPC staff does not provide a recommendation for murals or artwork in general, just because of the nature of artwork. What I like might not be something that you like, and vice versa. So I think what we have tonight to present to you is certainly something to consider. So let me pull that up so you can see what the mural looks like. This is the proposed mural. So there are a bunch of different elements going on here. Lebanon obviously celebrated. The figure is the grandfather of the building owner, overlooking all of the fantastic celebrations that Lebanon has to offer. The 4th of July celebrations you can see in the L. The farming community celebrated in the E. The B has the catenary lights in the Chop House Alley. The A has the courthouse stained glass dome within it. N has the flowers that are celebrated throughout the community. The O has I'm spacing the tree, hickory tree, cedar trees that was part of the naming of Lebanon in the lore there. And the N has the Big Four Trail, which runs through the downtown square, obviously. So, and another nice little addition on there is the cardinal, which celebrates.
Is that the
What's the cardinal?
bird? Is that our state bird?
In memory of is what a cardinal signifies. That's right. So when you see a cardinal, that is someone who is passed and who is looking out for you. So that ties in with the grandfather in the picture as well. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. I can answer any questions you have. The artist is here. The Boone EDC representation is here, and also the building owner, if there are any questions for Bart Jackson.
All right. Thank you, Derek. Are there any questions for staff right now?
Trying to remember back to the meeting that we had. Was that window, is that window there in the
That window's
facade?
not there currently. It is.
It's going to be there.
It is going to be
That's
there,
one of
yes.
the ones we approved, I think.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
I like the intent. I feel like I caught most of it before you even described it. That's my.
Yeah, I mean, I know, yeah, you're looking at other town squares around Indiana or other places we go to. Yeah, it always is nice seeing art around, I think, that downtown area if it's done right. And this looks very nice. Scott, I don't know if you have anything to add to that.
I'm certainly not an artist, so I commend the artist for just all of the nods to our past. I think it's classy, but love the colors. They really pop. It's great.
All right. All right. Thank you, Derek. Yeah, we'll hear from the applicant next. I guess we sort of have, we'll take whoever wants to come and speak about this. I know we have, like I said, we have the building owner, the artist, other representatives. So whoever wants to step up and address it.
Public comment.
Like you got, I left it to the professionals. I loved how it came out.
Give your name for the record,
Oh,
please.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Bart Jackson, and I'm one of the partners of the ownership group. But I'm like, Scott, man, I can't draw a straight line. So I left it to the professionals, but I just thought it was really cool how it resembled different things of the state, the city. Everybody put a lot of input, a lot of work into it. So I don't have anything to say, but I feel like I should at least state that. And if you guys have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. So.
My only question is the dimensions. I don't know if did Derek mention the dimensions of it?
Artist can probably answer that.
Okay. Approximately. We don't have to be.
Yeah, and then just step to the microphone if you can,
Yeah,
just
if
so
you
that we can.
I think it's about.
Oh, can you step to the microphone, please? That way we can, people at home watching can hear as well. Thank you.
I'm Pamela Bliss. I'm the mural artist.
Sorry, I didn't mean to throw you a curveball.
It looks like the length of it is intending to cover pretty much the whole length of the building.
Yeah,
East, west?
yes, it covers the whole thing because it's got, the background is kind of like a sunburst.
Okay.
Oh,
Well, this doesn't
subtle,
say.
but I see that.
It doesn't say what the measurements are here. I'm very sorry. I think it's around 80 some feet, and then it's about, I think it's 24, 28 feet at the highest, then it tapers back, but
Okay.
I think it's about 85 feet, something like that. I have the layout here, but it doesn't show the measurements on that. I probably have it somewhere, but it'd probably take me forever to get it.
Just out of curiosity, what's something like this take time-wise?
Well, something this big, I usually say anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks because the weather always screws everything up. And, I've got some help. Someone's going to help me, and that will, speed things up. But I have no clue. It'll be around that time frame.
We look forward to seeing it.
I'm looking forward to painting it. It's going to be a fun one.
All right.
Do you have any more questions?
I don't right now. I guess with this being a public meeting, if there's anybody from the public who wanted to address this as well, feel free to step to the microphone. We'd like to hear from you as well, if you have anything to add to that.
I do have one other quick question for the artist.
Oh, yeah, good.
What's the lifespan on a mural like this, approximately?
Well, I've got some that are over 25 years old. And it all depends on, there's only been one that was peeling because they didn't prep it, because it's not the mural itself. The the paint will last a long time,
It's the surface.
but it's the prep.
Yeah.
And one building owner, I told them that they needed to put on a good concrete primer sealer. Locks On by Sherwin-Williams is what I always suggest. And they didn't. They put a regular primer and that peels. So happen to be friends with the new building owner. So he will go and touch up some areas that is just one solid area, but I've had to go back a couple of times and repair it. So wherever I repair it, I put on that primer sealer and then I paint over it again. So, but it should last a long, long time.
All right, yeah, you go, Mr. Jackson. Yeah, step to the microphone, please.
I was just going to say on that note, we have taken all of Pamela's suggestions and we're making sure the the GC does exactly what she wants from a prepping perspective. So that doesn't happen and it lasts as long as possible. So we've already baked that into everything.
Great.
All right, thank you.
Good.
All right, thank you. Is there any comments from the public?
Hi, Missy Krulik with the Heart of Lebanon. I just want to say that we're excited that Pamela is going to bring her artwork to Lebanon. I don't know if you know, but some of her murals that we were drawn to were the Kurt Vonnegut mural in downtown Indy, also Reggie Miller and Eva Kaur. Yeah, so we were excited to be able to bring that type of mural and she has a lot of other great works, but that was most exciting to us. So we're looking forward to seeing this mural in downtown if you approve it.
All right, thank you, Missy. All right, if there's no other comments from the public, we'll close the public comment portion of the meeting. Just one quick question, Derek, and I probably should know this from my time on BZA. Now, the mural, it does not count as signage, right?
That's correct. It does
Okay,
not.
yeah.
Yeah.
That was just
We
one
made
question
sure
I had.
we made sure to dance around that very carefully.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, because I know there are signage requirements and that would need variances and all that, so good to hear. Gentlemen, are there any other questions before we move to a motion on this COA?
So
All right, if not, I will entertain a motion.
I would like to make a motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
I will second that.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, motion carries. Sorry, Jennifer, I probably should have taken the roll for officialness, but I think you got that. We all approved it, so all right, thank you. All right, thank you. Good luck on the, do you know when you'll start on this or when this? Well, yeah, we probably, yeah, because, there's some work, you said there's some prep work that needs to go, so, okay, all right, great.
If you drove by the building, we're already starting the demolition, part of that's exterior, so we're still on
All right, great. Well, yeah, look forward to seeing that come to fruition over the summer, see it come to life. I know we've had a lot of the bridges around town that have had some art done to them recently, so it's just kind of a neat addition to the town, so thank you very much.
George, just for the public at home, the answer was July sometime.
Yep. Thank you, Tim. Yeah, just in case, they didn't hear. And I probably didn't say that. So thank you. All right. Next item on the agenda is a COA for 124 to 126 North Lebanon Street facade renovation. Again, we will hear from staff first, and then we'll hear from the applicant.
Thank you, George. This one has a lot of moving parts, so I can read through the entire staff report. We can kind of go back over it after I'm finished. I'll have pictures as I read the staff report here. I think everybody kind of knows what building we're talking about. If we get the existing picture flashed up on the screen, there we go. This is it. This is the building we've kind of been waiting for on the square to undergo some renovations, and it's finally happening. So we're very excited about this one. The applicant tonight is Eichmann Corner LLC, which is Matt and Bart Jackson. The location is 124 and 126 North Lebanon Street. The property is zoned central business, and this property has not been before the Historic Preservation Commission. This building is The building classification is non-contributing. A non-contributing building is a building which is less than 50 years old and which is compatible with its historic surroundings, or a building which is over 40 years old and whose historic character remains but does not rise to the level of notable or outstanding. This building is included in the National Register of Historic Places, Lebanon Courthouse Square Historic District. So the action tonight is a certificate of appropriateness for a facade renovation. You're currently looking at the front, which is the east-facing facade. The existing facade underwent significant alterations in the late 1980s or 1990s. Can't quite put a date on that. We do have some pictures that show the renovation happening. The vehicles around in those pictures kind of give it away, but sometime in that period. Photographs from that time period have been included in the materials provided to the commission. The applicant is proposing a renovation project that will introduce a new brick upper facade while preserving the existing balcony configuration. So let me get to that here real quick. On the first floor, a traditional storefront glass design is planned. This will feature black aluminum display windows, full glass black aluminum doors, and matching transom windows. The lower bulkhead will be finished with a limestone veneer. There will be 3 entry doors. The central door, providing access to the second floor space, will be flush with the sidewalk. The 2 side doors, which lead to first floor spaces, will be recessed and flanked by 2 display windows on either side. The cement board siding on the upper storefront will be removed and replaced with brick. A decorative brick cornice will be installed above the balcony openings as shown in the rendering. The balcony layout will remain unchanged. New black aluminum sliding doors will replace the existing white vinyl doors, and the current white wooden railings will be replaced with black aluminum railings. We'll move on to the north facade. The existing paint will be removed from brick and mortar to prepare for brick repairs and repointing. Basement window openings will be infilled with brick that matches the existing facade. All cement board siding will be removed and replaced with matching brickwork. The first floor storefront windows at the northeast corner will be reconstructed to match the east-facing storefront. 3 previously bricked-in window openings on the first floor will be restored to their original historic dimensions, and new limestone sills will be installed at these locations. These are the 3 windows I'm referring to there. Those were, you can see them in the existing elevation that were sent to you. Those were the ones that were bricked over. All windows along the north elevation will be replaced with black aluminum windows sized to fit the historic openings. The existing door will be replaced with a black aluminum door and transom, and a new access ramp will be constructed from the sidewalk to the entry. Black aluminum railings will be installed along the ramp and platform for safety. Additionally, a new patio will be constructed above the first floor space at the west end of the facade, complete with matching black aluminum safety railings as shown in the proposed rendering. The west facade, which is the alley side. I don't have renderings for that, but I do have an explanation for you. The existing paint will be removed from the brick and mortar to prepare for brick repairs and repointing. New black aluminum doors will be installed in the large openings, and black aluminum windows will replace the current wood-boarded sections. An idea what that looks like. A new concrete access stair will be constructed at the south door opening with black aluminum railings added to each stairway. There's already an existing stairway on the north door, and obviously for access, egress, there will be the same style of steps installed on the south door. The reasoning behind the previous owner's alteration of the historic facade remains unclear. Unfortunately, those changes diminish the building's historic integrity, resulting in its classification as non-contributing. The proposed renovations will noticeably alter the building's appearance. While the second floor balconies are not original features, their preservation and enhancement will not convey a false sense of historical authenticity, which is highly important. Improved, they contribute to the distinct character of this structure. All proposed updates are designed to retain the building's remaining historic elements while revitalizing this prominent structure. Staff believes the proposed changes do not have a negative impact on the district or the building, and staff recommends approval of the COA as submitted. I will add that one comment that I received after everything was, staff report was published, was the possibility of adding a soldier course layer of brick in some of the locations on the front. And, you know, after reviewing some of the historic pictures, I think that does make some sense. And I have talked to the building owner about that. So the soldier course that you see above the second floor windows there, I think would be a nice addition to the renderings that were proposed, and also a soldier course above the transom windows where you see the Eichmann sign. I think help give the front some better definition. So, and the applicant, as mentioned, did seem open to that idea. It's simply just having the mason lay those brick in a different pattern as they move up. That's all I have in terms of a staff report. I'm happy to answer any questions. The owner is here to answer those questions as well. That's all I have.
All right, great. Any questions for staff at this time?
Yeah, I missed maybe what is the material below the windows on that east and north elevations?
Right there?
Yes.
That will be the limestone veneer as well. That will be installed on the east elevation, the Lebanon Street side.
What does that look like? Is that just a flat limestone or?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep, very similar to what you see at Four Fingers,
Okay.
if you can picture that.
Also, what on the north elevation, comparing the rendering to the existing drawings, or the existing pictures to the proposed elevation, I'm seeing two former sidewalk level on the existing, and I'm only seeing one on the drawings, but it looks like we're removing the plywood and replacing with a brick there.
All right, so we're on the north elevation here. Which
We see one is kind of over the windshield of the car in the picture, and one is about level with the front nose of the car.
Yep, those are the basement windows that will be infilled with brick.
Okay. I just saw one drawing in the proposed rendering. One window drawn.
That one right there. Oh, sorry, this one right here.
That one right there. Yeah.
Yep.
And so I just wanted to be sure.
So the other is just not drawn in like that, but it will be infilled with brick.
Good eye, Tim. Didn't even notice that.
Let me.
You probably said, will the brick be painted? How are we going to match this brick on the new? We have new brick going in on both elevations.
Correct. So that's there's never a perfect answer for that. It's as close of a match as they can possibly find once we get all the brick cleaned. So there's a lot going on, a lot of moving parts with this project. There is local grant money, and then there is also some American Rescue Plan money that is being thrown at it. So, in part of that, the federal money is managed through the planning office. So, the money that we have from the federal side will take care of the paint removal of the brick and mortar, the repointing and the brick repair on that, on the north elevation and the west elevation. So that will be first. So we're working through those RFPs right now, which we will be presenting to the Board of Works for contracts at the Monday meeting. The masons through our RFP have been guided that, you know, the brick needs to be approved by staff before they are installed.
Okay.
And it is unfortunately lead-based paint on the north elevation, which we will be remediating properly.
What is on the west elevation, there's also a second floor elevation to the west. Is that part of our jurisdiction?
Somewhat. That is going to be treated. So as part of the federal side of the money, we are taking off the roofing material that has been put on that second floor elevation that you're talking about, and we will be bringing it back to the brick, repairing all the brick, and making sure that it matches the rest. So there is a door and a window up there. You really can't see it from street level, so that's why I didn't include it into the staff report. But the door and windows will match everything else that's going on.
I know you can see at least some of the facade from the street, so that will be back to brick, you're saying?
Correct.
Okay.
Are you talking about like right up in this area?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. So that is
and then all the way to obviously from this vantage point, all the way to the north edge of the building.
Yes, correct.
On Washington.
Yep.
One thing that jumps out at me is the cap of the walls. In the renderings, it kind of looks like maybe brick parapet walls, where the existing is kind of a mixture of clay and metal. North elevation.
Yeah, it's a
that
little,
looks like metal there, and
it's a little bit of hodgepodge. Yep.
Yeah, and then compared to the proposed rendering, it looks like a brick hatch there. I'm not sure what the intent.
That is correct. It'll be brick consistently from front to back.
As the cap?
Yes. The clay doesn't exist anymore on the front 2/3 of the building. If you wanted the clay cap to remain on the back third, it's something we could certainly discuss.
I'm not opposed to metal. That's what I'm looking at.
We can see what the applicant wants to say about that, Tim, if you want to pose that question to him. So,
Sure.
Okay. All right. Anything else for Derek?
I don't have anything.
All right. Fantastic. Thank you, Derek. We'll hear from the applicant now. So, Mr. Jackson, if you want to come back up again.
Again, Bart Jackson here on behalf of the ownership group. Just same thing on this, you know, it's directly across the street from our office that we redeveloped in 2018. I don't know if you guys remember that, but back then that was boarded up. It was like a plywood that was painted brick on the windows and, you know, in pretty dire condition. And love how that looks. I mean, obviously this is different, but we see it being a prime historic building on Lebanon Street that we're really excited about, bringing back to what it should be, and then kind of adding some new components like the upper deck. So I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have, but I think Derek did an outstanding job. So thank you.
Yeah, I think it looks wonderful. My only question would be, did you guys have any discussion about possibly figuring out a way to include the Eichmann name in the front of the building? I just think a lot of times that forces people to pose the question, what is the history of this building? Who were the Eichmanns? And growing up here, I'll be honest, I don't even know. It's something that I'm going to go home and research now since I've seen the picture, but has there been any thought of maybe figuring out a way to, memorialize that?
They actually had some really cool stuff interior that we're going to save and actually incorporate into the apartments. So we did want to keep that heritage, to your point. Directly across the street, actually, Eichmann is on the Arnie's building as well. So they did a good job building and putting their name everywhere. Mm-hmm. There were no conversations necessarily about the exterior, just the look that you saw. We thought that made more sense. Totally get what you're saying on the history and the name. But to this point, there had not been any conversations about putting that back on the front.
That's all I got.
Are you open to a different cap on the parapet walls?
Yeah, I think so. I like the brick, but I'm totally,
Okay.
open and just at this point, a hodgepodge. But especially when it comes to design elements, whether historic or modern, I'm always very open to what the group thinks.
I just looked up Google Maps real quick, and just going down Lebanon Street, I'm seeing mostly different materials as the cap. To me, having the same materials looks like other cities that I'd prefer not to look like. That's my thoughts. So I'm open to metal. I understand the clay cap would be lovely to be historical, but that's not possible.
Yeah, and I always, when questions like this come up, well, you'll probably be able to, I don't know, like when it comes to actually building it or cost-wise, like what the difference is. So I lack in that department. From a look perspective, I think either can be sharp. So just with that caveat, I think we'd be wide. Is there like a consensus? Yeah, we definitely want metal, or a preference?
I'm looking down. I'm seeing if it's not the clay, it's like limestone, like on the Key Bank building. I'm seeing some, I think, look like maybe metal.
Personally, I think if there was one material, along the street that, you would need to be consistent, obviously, so that it doesn't stick out like a sore thumb. But, I think there are several different materials and variations. So I don't necessarily have a preference one way or the other.
I think that would just stand out to me as looking like some buildings don't feel historical to me.
Okay.
That would be my opinion.
I hate asking a question I don't know the answer to. Do we know what the historical nature, like what the capping was back then? Can we tell from the pictures?
Well, right now you've got the clay cap on the back on the east side.
And that's
the one story.
Okay. Was that the original though?
That probably would have been the original.
And that'd be, okay. So all right.
And
be difficult.
It looks like some of that's failed. And so they've replaced it with some metal on the 2-story brick area.
We're going to change that regardless. So that's not a factor. So I can run that up the pole with everybody that's had input. And of course the team personally, as long as it looks good, I don't have a strong preference.
In the one picture, the date looks like it was probably a limestone cap
That could be too.
up there. So the building was added on to, so that those back portions that have the clay cap on it was probably the material they had at the date, of those additions. So that's probably why you see some of the hodgepodge.
So as far as a historical nature, limestone would be great,
Okay.
but or as I don't know that I want to make you do that for a cost standpoint, et cetera.
Yeah, and that's the only thing I want to, if it's okay, just circulate it internally to the team, make sure I don't agree to something I'm not supposed to for whatever reason. It's just a little bit out of my wheelhouse when it comes to that specific of details. But I'll just say, unless there's something weird, I don't see any problem with metal.
I would like to see a different material
Okay.
than just brick all the way up.
I'm just going to make a note here. Yep, I will run that by the partners, the architect and the GC, and as long as there's no big complaints, I think that's not a problem at all.
Looks great to me.
Any other questions for the applicant? All right, thank you, Mr. Jackson. We'll open up the public comment portion for the meeting. If there's anyone who would like to speak to this matter, please give your name for the record, please.
Hi, I'm Andrea Kern. I'm the new CEO of the Boone Economic Development Corporation. And I bet the people in the audience are, I couldn't help myself. I needed to come and say hello, first of all, and thank you for your time. And I know this is a volunteer position, so just want to thank you for, serving your community in this way. So I love this project, and as my other background is, before I came to the Boone Economic Development Corporation, I worked for the state, managing several historic preservation grants and working on Indiana Main Street. And this is such a key corner in the community and will make such a difference for the downtown. And so just really want to encourage a favorable approval tonight. So thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? If not, I will close the public comment portion of the meeting. Board, any thoughts on this project? One thing I do like, Mr. Jackson, just wanted to comment. I do like that while it's going to have a little bit of a modern look to the east facade, I think it does return a lot of it to that what it had been before in that historical nature. I mean that building is always one that's kind of stuck out a little bit for not positive reasons. And again, people made decisions 40 years ago that seemed to make sense at that time. But I think what you're looking at doing, it will again still have it'll be a modern look, but I think it replicate what the nature of what that had been previously. Tim, Scott, any thoughts? Anything to add?
I would also add, I appreciate you adding and improving this building. I'd like you to return it to the historical nature of it. I appreciate that.
Certainly much needed, and just really, I love the design and look forward to seeing it come to fruition.
I will entertain a motion then. I guess before I do that, so was there anything in particular, Tim, on a motion we have, is there anything that in particular you wanted to see based on some of the comments you had before, or are we just going to kind of leave it to Bart and his team to kind of look at it to see what maybe makes sense?
I would be willing to make a motion that we approve with the alteration of that top cap material for the parapet walls.
And before we get a second, we're going to hear from Derek just to make sure that we are making a appropriate motion.
So if I think I've heard everything correctly, a consistent material.
Yes, sir.
Something besides brick, limestone or metal. Metal is probably I would say the more cost-effective material. can't imagine that the metal cap is going to add a tremendous amount to the scope. There's going to be a lot of metal work around the building anyway. So as long as you're comfortable with them reviewing it, proposing metal to me after the meeting tonight, and you give me the ability to approve that outside of the meeting, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, that the material and color would be, I think you would make a good selection.
Okay.
So maybe amend that motion slightly for I think, because I think you said different originally, so a consistent cap, I think is what.
Yeah.
Okay.
A good point. So I will make a motion to approve this certification with the alteration of the cap of the walls to be consistent, and final approval by staff for material and color.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, Jennifer, take the roll, please, officially, or on the roll call for the vote.
Scott Allen,
Approved.
Tim Schrock,
Approved.
George Piper.
Approved. All right, motion carries 3-0. Thank you very much. Yeah, appreciate, looking forward to, and again, probably should have asked this before, and shout out, and we'll clarify for the audience. So when will this start roughly?
Sure. So we actually got to close on the deal.
Okay, go to the microphone, please. Yeah, just
Too much for us to repeat.
They're catching it at home. Yeah, sorry.
Well, it is really cool. I mean, we're working on both 124, 126 North Lebanon Street. Well, this is
South Lebanon, right?
Yeah, South. And then
I got confused at
I'm
the
sorry.
beginning of this meeting about that.
And then, so this one being 124, 126 North Lebanon Street. So we're just going to have one crew, go to the next. And so, and, because of the grants and the projects having to be complete this year, that's just additional motivation. My point being, as soon as we, finalize the details and actually close on the property, we're going to start work immediately. And I would expect that would be no later, than August is too far. I'd say no later than the middle of July, honestly. I can't think we're much more than a month away. So you'll start to see a lot of activity. And again, just like everybody said, super excited. These are prime corners in our downtown historic building. I forget who said it stuck out for the wrong reasons for too long, and it should be sticking out for the right reasons. And so yeah, both you're going to see a lot of construction on those two projects in Lebanon Street on this during the summer, and they will be completed hopefully in late fall, definitely no later than the end of the year.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you. All right, Derek, is there any other business before the commission tonight?
None to announce at this time.
All right. Our next scheduled meeting would be July 3rd, if we have any business. So we'll wait to hear from staff if we do have any applicants for that next meeting. Oh,
I can pretty confidently say we will not be having that meeting.
Okay.
No applications at this point, and it's past the deadline. So unless it's something really, really simple, it's probably not going to happen.
okay. So probably looking more at August then. So, but okay. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make that motion.
Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank
Go
you.
Pacers.